Hey guys, Soares Digital here. First off, thank you so much for 500 subscribers. It really means the world to me, and I will continue to make more wholesome content for you all. As the video title says, I drew every day for 1 year. Honestly, it's not that deep. But for a bit of context, I'm not a novice at art. I drew a lot in middle school, but sadly that's kind of where it all ended. You see, I slowly became self-conscious because a lot of my friends would make fun of my art and they would roast me because I wasn't as good as the artist in the friend group. As you all know, in every middle school group, everyone has a label to them. And our one friend, who was labeled the artist, was insanely good. And I mean insanely good. And every art piece anyone ever made was always compared to his. And like in most groups, you can't have two artists. One is the artist, the other one will be roasted. Which in turn was me. But to be fair, he was insanely good. I still have an art piece he drew. Pirates of the Caribbean. This is amazing for an 11-year-old. On the other hand, my stuff looked like this. In hindsight, my art was actually not that bad. There was a lot of room for improvement, but unfortunately, as a self-conscious middle schooler, you don't happen to know that until it's too late. And obviously because of the fact that everyone was roasting me, so that didn't help at all. So, after taking a 15-year hiatus, I have now returned to start drawing again. Primarily because I kept seeing a lot of characters who looked like my OCs and everyone was praising these characters, and inside I thought, hold up a second, if they're praising these characters, they might actually like my OCs. And also I didn't want to be accused of plagiarism. A longer video on that coming soon. Anyhow, you're all here for one thing. Before we begin, special shout out to my friend Pancake. They have been my biggest source of inspiration, so go check them out because their work is incredible. And now, the results you've all been waiting for. Take a good look at it. Here is what my art looked like at the beginning of 2023, and this is what it looked like during the middle, and finally, what it looked like towards the end. This is Toby, by the way. And here is Team Toby with dynamic poses. As a disclaimer, the background here is not mine. This is simply borrowed from an Neptunia game, as I'm still learning how to draw backgrounds. For those of you who don't know, drawing is really hard. That's why for me, I have always appreciated the small gifts and commissions that friends would make for me. However, as much as I love my friends' art, I knew that sadly, my wallet would not agree with me. So I decided to do the next best thing. I started saving some money, bought myself an iPad and Procreate, and voila! I began drawing every single day. I decided to start becoming a digital artist, which was actually very different than traditional drawing. Nevertheless, I decided to commit to it and become a digital artist. In the past year, my goal was to draw something every day, and sometimes I had no energy and I really had to try hard to get something out. Then I realized that I could just make a couple base models and then draw on top of them, kinda like Legos. By doing so, this made my art process so much faster, and I was able to make a bunch of OCs in such a short amount of time. But even then, I still had a lot of people telling me that I was wasting my time. Why? Well, a lot of non-artist people would say, Soares Digital, why are you choosing to become a digital artist? Stop wasting your time and just use AI. It would do it far faster and far better than you ever could. And even if you decide to learn, AI will take over your job and it'll make those skills useless and therefore a waste of time. To that, I say, who cares? You see, in my opinion, it's not about the final product, but the journey and process that brings me the most happiness. Drawing brings me a lot more happiness than writing a prompt ever could. It's equivalent to cooking or baking. Sure, you could always microwave your pre-cooked meals, but at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to say, hey, I cooked that. I can look at my artwork and say, hey, I made that. Prompters can't do that either. And if they claim they can, well, they are a bunch of dirty liars. And something I can always share that they can't is my process, because every process is going to look different, because artists make a lot of mistakes, and I mean a lot. So many mistakes that we can always share those with other people, and in turn learn and grow more together. One immediate improvement that I liked was my brush thickness. When I first started, I used heavy lines because I tried to match the sketch lines. Again, as a traditional artist, I didn't know how to transition that skill to digital art. And now, after so much trial and error, I found my comfort zone to be a 1 pixel to 4 pixel brush, especially for the type of art that I was doing. Since then, my pieces have all been within that range. The lines are nice, but not too thick. Personally, I feel like this allows me to add more minor details with clothing, hair, or eyes. Now, speaking of eyes, this is where I also made some huge improvements. Before, I outlined everything. The eyeballs, the pupil, the retina, and so forth. There was a clear distinction of where everything started. And by accident, this one time I hit the outline layer and I realized that it looked better without it. So I just went with it. And I kept learning with every model I drew. My overall main goal was to release all my OCs drawn in the style of VTubers and character sheet models, and in between I still managed to draw other types of art styles. While I did draw every single day for a year, reminder that it's about quality, not quantity. Pretty much, I got really good at drawing characters facing forward, but everything else, not so much. Do I regret not drawing more in different styles? Well, actually no, because for me, doing this made the process a whole lot more fun. And at the end of it all, I managed to crank over 300 OCs. Again, it's about making art fun for you. And doing this has brought me more confidence than I could ever ask for. And now with 1 year under my belt, I aim to bring my series forward. The series is called Our New Adventure, which features the cast that I showed you guys from before, among all these other OCs that exist within this world as well. My end goal is to release a story series that features these characters as the protagonists. I told my friends about this way back when, and every time I told them something about my story, a lot of people kept saying, "Oh wow, this is like One Piece," which was another reason why I refused to watch One Piece, because I didn't want to feel like I was trying to steal their idea. But eventually, after being challenged to watch it, I finally caved in and realized that yes, there were a lot of things in common, which was not a bad thing. This helped me draw even more inspiration for my story. And as always, I'm always trying to rush out my OCs before I get accused of plagiarism. And I know that I won't ever regret doing this, even if everyone says that AI or ODA is eventually going to take over. At the end of it all, I will forever know that I enjoyed myself, and no one could ever take that away from me, unless of course the AIs become sentient and just kind of reverse engineer the entire timeline to the point where we don't exist anymore. I mean, crazier things have happened. And if that happens, I'd probably do something crazy as well, like run for president or something. To anyone who's uncertain about whether or not they should start drawing, especially with the emergence of AI, my advice, just start. Just do it and have fun with it. And enjoy drawing what you want. You don't have to be an immediate expert off the get-go. If you don't know where to start, then start by drawing things you like. Draw whatever makes you feel comfortable, whether it's for your friends, whether it's memes of things you like, whether it's your OCs, fictional characters, childhood monstrosities, things that are popular, the first thing that pops into your head, anything. You don't have to have a digital tablet to start drawing either. All it takes is paper and pencil. Use as many references as needed, or use none at all. I'm still learning to draw backgrounds, and you might be the same. You might know how to draw people, but you may lack the background skills. Or in reverse, you might know how to draw landscapes, but you might be terrible with people proportions. But don't let that stop you from drawing. Make your drawings as complex as you want, or as simple as possible. Just let drawing bring you joy. Whatever may happen in the future, don't let AI or anyone else try to take that joy away from you. I believe everyone should have the right to enjoy making art. And for anyone who finished watching this video, I highly encourage you to show me your art. I'd be happy to see it. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I know I could have easily started this video a year ago and called it attempting to draw every day for 1 year, because I know people want to hear a narrative and a story, and people are more driven to that. I assume this video is going to get like 5 views, but obviously it's not about the views, and I didn't do this for the views. I did this in secret because I knew that I wanted to keep myself accountable, and I knew that I wanted to challenge myself and try to hold myself to a standard in order to make sure that I accomplished my set goal. And what do you know, I did it. So I encourage all of you guys to start drawing. And even if you don't think your art's any good, please feel free to share it with me. I would love to see it all. And then come back to me in a year and show me your improvement. With that said, guys, thank you all for watching. We will see you all next time.